Everybody, so I am back today with a work in progress update for day 15 or October 15th of Spooktoberfest. I have made a little bit of progress since the last video. I've moved on from the base painting to doing the weathering, I painted the eyes, and then I ended up initially just doing a big wash with Agrax Earthshade over the model, and then but prior to that, actually, I did some chipping with just some metallic paint and did chipping with the sponge chipping or the foam chipping method. Then did the Agrax Earthshade. I added a little bit of green glaze in different spots where the supposed to be corrosion or contagion for those that are in particular ones that have got the boils and like holes, rotting holes and things in the armor and stuff like that. And then I did some rust effects too. I've added, where some of the armor was damaged, I've added a little bit of light rust. I'm missing a guy here. For the banner guy, I've also added some heavy rust on the banner and some of the on the, I guess they're like spearheads that are almost coming out of it. But I'll show a couple of close-ups here. I'll just show this guy here. I'm pretty happy with the gritty look that I achieved. In some ways, the sponge, I guess the sponge chipping, where you create the what looks to be like paint peeling and chipping and things like that, was one of my favorite additions to it. I mean, I always like putting on the first wash, like the Agrax Earthshade, but in this case, because these guys are meant to be around a really long time and have really damaged sort of or armor, and in some cases just rotted armor, getting that wear on there, I really like the way it came out, the way it looks. That guy, I'll show the aspiring champion. I went with yellow eyes for him, where all the others I went with red. I don't know why. I think because I have the yellow horn. I just wanted it. It just kind of came to mind to do it that way. I was just kind of going with the flow. But in the arm here, that would be an example where I put, for the boils and stuff, some green glaze, which is meant to be like a rotting. You can see it here as well. To focus here. And I can show some other examples. It's mainly the folks that have the boils and stuff that I put that in there. There's real no exact science to weathering. What I tried to do with this, and particularly with the rust, is I went over a lot of times the rust with a wet brush afterwards to try to control it a bit and create. I didn't always want just the streaking rust. I kind of wanted more of like rust in spots where I think the armor was chipping away, but just sort of that glaze of that constant it rusting and water flowing over it and just giving it an orange tinge, that happens over time, rather than just sort of like a direct streaking of it. And so that's kind of what I aimed for. But I have it also a bit sporadic. I don't have it everywhere, so it's sort of like an ever-changing process where this armor is being sort of taken over by both that sort of pestilence, but also just that general wear from battle damage and things. It's supposed to be guys in transition rather than just sort of completely covered with one thing or a couple of things. I'll show the guy with the standard here. I also put some of the green on the regular Agrex Earth Shade. They're definitely dirty, I think, for sure. One of the things I didn't do is I didn't weather them up with the Agrex Earthshade like a second time like I did with the Sorcerer. I found that, one, I wanted the Sorcerer to be sort of on further in progression as far as looking dirty and corroded and things compared to these guys, and because he's meant to be, the way I did him, just like a stage further in his development. And let's see if I can get a good close up here. Good. If you look at the armor, it's definitely a little bit darker than these guys, because I did a second Agrex Earthshade on him as opposed to just one and then wiping it off and things. I'm actually pretty happy with that, because I'm not, they definitely look like they're complementary. Like, I think at a distance it looks fine, but you can tell when you look up close that he is a little bit, just a little bit more corroded and things than the other guys. So I think that's it. That's where I'm at. It's not it for these guys, but I'm getting pretty close. I have to work on the bases, of course, and I'll be doing some varnishes, but I'm not quite sure what else I'm going to do as far as these guys here. I think I'm pretty close to being done. I'll think about it a little bit further, but I think I'm pretty close to where I want them at. And so for my the bases, I'm actually planning on painting the whole thing black and then using some of the, what is it called here? The Agrelin Earth that cracks it. So it'll be black on the top of it'll be black completely, and then I'll paint the top of the base with a thick coat of this Agrelin Earth to get that crackling effect. So it'll be sort of like a cracked earth is what I'm thinking of doing. Whether I do a little bit of water effects and some slime and stuff on the bases, I'm not sure. We'll see. I'll have to see how that first stage of just that cracked earth looks first before I get any further. Question of the week by Warbuste for Spooky Oktoberfest. What is your favorite food, I believe? Now, he had taken an pumpkin pie right away, which... So it's what is your favorite food with pumpkin in it for Halloween, I believe, is what he had said. Now, I'm not sure if it has to be a food, but what is your favorite thing with pumpkin in it? But he had said pumpkin pie, which probably would have been my favorite as well, because I really love pumpkin pie. And at work yesterday, somebody was just ranting and raving about pumpkin muffins, which I think I've had those, and those are really good too. So I guess I'll use that since he's taken pumpkin pie. But since I'm sort of cheaping out, because I'm just kind of saying I'll use that instead of the pumpkin pie, which is my favorite. I'll actually just mention also what I don't like with pumpkin, because, and I apologize if somebody else has mentioned this and I haven't seen it and it's their favorite thing. But I guess I was given the opportunity a number of years ago to have a pumpkin spiced beer. And I don't know if it happened to be the microbrewery that did it, but it was absolutely, like, I like beer, so it's not like I'm just kind of turning my nose up to different kinds of beer and all that. I could not really get through this. I mean, I think I had one, and I don't even know that I got through the one bottle, and I basically dumped the rest because it's very rare that actually happens. But I think I just couldn't drink it. I had to actually just get rid of it and toss it because it was that bad. And I'm not sure that I really like that spice and pumpkin like in beer, like in alcohol. It's that potpourri kind of spice kind of stuff, like that whole holiday season kind of in a drink. I don't really like it. And so yeah, so that was the worst thing. And the best thing, I'll go with the pumpkin muffins, because my pumpkin pie was already taken. So, all right. Hope you guys are having a good week, and talk to you later.